Still cracking on with the Cosy Crochet Blanket, and now we've moved on a little bit. So that's the squares you might have seen last time at the top of the blanket, and I have added some of the lamb's wool from last year. So anyway, we've got the big squares. What I've done is use the lamb's wool. Now if we go to this bit, look, I did a few rows of the lamb's wool, and all I'm doing is doubling it over and putting a slip stitch through it just to make a firmer edge for the blanket. So in this week's news, Crochet Corner managed to get out of the house for a little while. I had my eye on some more cozy pyjamas, because as I say, pyjamas are just a bit easier to deal with at the moment than dresses, which is a shame because I'd really like to be wearing the cozy autumn dress. That I was really looking forward to that through the winter because it is really warm, so in the cold weather ideal, but I just can't, it's just too much of a struggle wearing it at the moment, get it on and off, you know. Unfortunately my shoulder isn't the best at the moment, so it's just a little bit too much. Why is this being weird? So the pyjama sets are just a bit easier to deal with. So the pyjamas I got, I've been trying to get for, probably before Christmas. Just haven't been able to get to Glasgow. It's been a bit much. As you may already be aware, I've spent most of January sleeping. However, I was glad to get out of the house for a short time. Nipped up, got the pyjamas, and managed to pick a wee 9ml of Jo Malone of my favourite scent at the moment. I think it's the Weather. It's weather inspired because the one that I picked I think is kind of a brooding, it's got a kind of brooding mood about it, you know, moody and brooding and everything, so quite fitting for the weather. While I was in the shop I managed to test one of the scents I had seen online, which I don't have a sample of, so I didn't know what it was like, but I managed to sample it while I was in Glasgow, and that is a really nice one, so I might get that one sometime in the future in the spring summer season. I would quite like that one as a day perfume. It's not too heady, it's nice and fresh, very citrus. You know, the grapefruit one? Yeah, I quite fancy that one just now. But for these dull and damp, dreich, as you say in Scotland, west coast of Scotland days, I think the Murren Tonka one is quite fitting. So I went for that. Although I quite like some of the other scents as well. Red hibiscus is quite nice. So, as you'll have seen from one of my shorts, also, I think it's 2 shorts ago, I can't remember, I've got the red hibiscus in 9ml as well, which is quite nice. I think it's quite strong though, so for a day scent, I don't know, it's quite heady, that one. I would prefer the grapefruit one for during the day. It's very uplifting, so a great day scent for the spring and summer. But that's in the future sometime. But as far as the weather goes, well, it's been not bad. It's been quite cold, but sunny, so that's helpful, certainly for the vitamin D intake. Still trying to get on my feet. Not there yet. It's a struggle though. I just live in the dark, which is I'm very grateful for a ground floor flat, and this mat has seen me through. It's helped me a lot, let's just say that. But it's also very dark and it's very hard to heat because it's an old building. It's east-west facing, ground floor, so cold and dark a lot of the time, so it's not great for if you're trying to... It's not the type of place where I would thrive anyway. Other people might find it different. But I have found this winter quite a struggle trying to keep my health buoyant. I mean, winter is hard enough as it is for a lot of people, but even harder with an injury when you're already exhausted and all the rest of it. I'll not go into all that just now, I've already been through it. I probably mention it every single time I'm on. Difficult not to though, because it is there every waking minute. So it's difficult not to mention it. It impacts every single part of my life. Every waking minute, as I say. But it's nice to get a wee distraction every now and then. As I say, going up to Glasgow was a good distraction from it. Although obviously I was exhausted after it, but this is the thing, I've got to weigh things up. Is going out or doing XYZ going to be worth spending 2 or 3 days in bed, exhausted? Is it going to be worth depleting all my energy? These are the things I've got to weigh up, and sometimes getting out of the house when it's possible is just necessary. But anyway, going on to the crochet, so I'm doing this bit just now, as I say. We're doing this trim. Then after that I'm going to do the same on the bottom edge, and then I'll maybe use the same lamb's wool to do a couple of wider bits on the sides just to widen the blanket a bit, and then I think at that point I'll just say that the blanket is finished, to be honest. So no storms on the horizon, thankfully, and the nights are finally getting lighter. How amazing is that? So it's now light at maybe 5 o'clock at night. And what are we in? The middle of February. So see, another few weeks and we could be into warm weather. I can't wait, honestly. And then it'll be nearly Easter. It's going to be amazing. I'm just really looking forward to that. That will help, obviously. Yes. Did you see my other short a while ago about the Jo Malone samples? I just felt it was time. I think it must be because we're going to be coming into spring soon. Just felt some new scents were needed. Quite a good mood elevator, I think. You know, it changes your mood. And I think I've said before in one of my other vlogs about the importance of sense of smell and how much of an impact it has. I mean, it evokes memories and things like that, doesn't it, really powerfully? Did you see also the market was on yesterday, because I'm doing this on Sunday, and I was actually heading somewhere else, but I passed by a bee stall and it was selling honey, so I picked up, and I do like bee things, so I picked up some rose honey and some turmeric and ginger honey, which I really like. I really like the rose one as well, to be fair, but I really like the turmeric one for its health benefits. I think the turmeric one, as I said in my community post, is going to be really beneficial for me. Well, turmeric's very good for you anyway, so I think that honey would actually be helpful for loads of people. So it is a wee bit nippy, so if you like, you know, spice and things, that's definitely the one for you, because it does have a bit of a nip, which I don't mind. I quite like that. I like spices. And then since they were doing a wee offer, I thought I would pick up a jar of bee pollen. Because again, everything's got a health angle at the moment with me, I think. It has loads of vitamins and minerals in it. I mean, loads of them. It must have probably all of them. It's all vitamin A and things, the B vitamins. I think it has vitamin K or vitamin D or something in it as well. You can look it up and you'll see yourself. Now, you can eat the bee pollen, so it's really good on, I don't know, you could put it on your yogurt or in your porridge or whatever. And I did look it up, it does say it's oil soluble, so what I might do at some point in what feels like a distant future, I may use some of it in some of my organic skincare. Once I've had a chance to, or once I feel more motivated to do it, let's be honest. I'm just not very motivated for the formulation right now. It's a lot of work. The Boots box is still going well. What I will say about that is I have been using more of the magnesium and zinc capsules, because it's really good for, I mean, my sleep's been off with the, what do you call it? I can't even think what it's called, the neuropathy. Yeah, English has been escaping me of late. Which is probably why I'm not maybe particularly inspiring in my vlogs at the moment. I certainly don't feel very inspiring. Let me know if I'm wrong. Here's a thought. How many people think a disabled garden would be a good idea? I'm thinking a garden with raised beds at different levels. So a bed for standing that suits people that can't bend, and a bed at another level for wheelchair users, and then obviously a bed at ground level for people who aren't disabled. So it helps everyone get into gardening. And I'm thinking a garden which has different elements in it. So what about vegetables? So you can grow your own veg, and a dye garden. Does anyone have a dye garden, or do you know what it is? One of these gardens, I think they have one in Kew, and there's a few dotted about through the country, in the UK at least, but it's a garden that you put plants in it which can dye fabrics and wools or yarn. So a dye garden, a veg garden, and obviously a garden which has herbs and medicinal plants in it. So maybe things like St. John's wort, which is actually really good for the seasonal affective disorder, actually, and depression generally. It's quite a powerful one, St. John's wort. So maybe that, and obviously your staple herbs like rosemary, great for the hair, and rosemary tea is also good for you, by the way, for various different reasons. It's very antiviral, antimicrobial. A lot of the plants are actually. It's to do with them defending themselves against predators and things, disease. So a lot of plants have that built in. What else? Echinacea, is that how you say it? The one that's good for colds and flu. And then you've got all sorts of wound healers and injuries, and God, I mean, there are so many herbs for so many things, asthma and all sorts of stuff. But yes, a garden which has a medicinal and herb section. I'm thinking if I had that, and it had, I would prefer personally a standing bed. But I do miss the gardening. I used to do gardening before I was injured, so I do miss that. And it is really therapeutic for you. Do you know, your physiology changes when your hands start playing with soil. They say it's something to do with when you're working with the soil with your hands, it releases some sort of, I don't know, pheromones or something. And you breathe it in, and it also goes through your skin as well. So it actually does, it has really amazing health benefits. It's not just the kind of spiritual or mental aspect of it, it actually changes your physiology. So anyone that's got any kind of mental health issues, then gardening is actually really good for you. So yes, I do miss the gardening. I think it would be really good for my health, but there isn't anywhere that I can use locally because of my injury. So I'm thinking, yes, a garden with different levels of bed. And it has its veg section, as I say, it has the dye garden, and it has the medicinal herbs. I'm thinking the medicinal herbs, not only would it be great for health, but I would also want to, it would be good to be able to use that in the organic skincare, if possible. So that would be a great wee thing, wouldn't it? What do you think? Just a wee idea that I've had flying around. So it's a kind of health garden, I suppose. I mean, who doesn't love organic homegrown veg and fruit? But as I say, there's nothing here for me, so I would have to create that. But having said that, I would have to find people to create it for me. I would have to delegate, so I would have to get people to do that for me. I think that would also be good for the community, wouldn't it? If you were working as a community to make that happen, the social aspect of it, the connection of working with others, that's also got great health benefits, doesn't it? Anyway, don't want to make this too long. We're nearly finished this section anyway, look. It's looking alright, isn't it? Will I show you the honey that I got from the market? So we have the rose one. What do you think? Whoops. Can you see that all right? That's the company there, if you're wondering, on the side. You can look them up. I'm not sponsored by them, so I'm not going to leave a link. I could leave a link, but I'm just not going to. If you're interested, you can look it up online. They're online. It tastes lovely. It tastes like Turkish delight. And then I'm not opening it because it will spill everywhere. And then we have the ginger and turmeric one. Do you see it? That's the nippy one. You can open this one because it's actually solid. Look, see, I've had some already. And then we have the pollen. So there you go. Now it's like, do you see it? It tastes kind of flowery. Yeah, so that was a nice wee surprise for me. I didn't expect to pick any of that up, so that was nice. I do like bee things. Well, I like bees. But yes, well that does just now. It's just a quick catch up. I haven't done an awful lot other than what I've already posted, maybe in my shorts or whatever. Anyway, we'll leave it there just now. I haven't done an awful lot other than what you've seen, as I say. So I went to Glasgow, got my cosy pyjamas and a wee bit of Jo Malone. I didn't stay long in Glasgow, only got the pyjamas, the Jo Malone, and then got the train. Because actually, you've no idea how exhausting that was. Even just that short thing that I did. That small amount of stuff. I had to actually sit down outside the Modern Art Gallery. I had to sit down before I fell down. So I just sat on the steps for a wee while before I got the train. It was just all a bit much. So I can't even go a short trip without being exhausted, because I actually felt as if I was going to faint, and I'm trying to eat healthy and everything. But that just shows you how depleted I am. It's really difficult trying to build up enough energy to even do something tiny. You've got to weigh up how you use your energy, if you're me. Sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Didn't used to be like this. Used to have boundless energy. And I should have boundless energy at my age. It's quite ridiculous, really. However, here we are. So anyway, on that note, I'll catch you in the next vlog. Bye for now.